Before we get started on this, I want to mention that I'm recording the audio part of this off of my iPad. So if it sounds different than it normally does, it's because there's a different recording media being used, mechanism. For those of you that have been listening to me for quite a few years, or even just recently, I've been trying to get out of this body for a long time, and should have been gone August 28th, 2015, but with 3 times trying hard myself to get out of here, and then a 4th time just laying off meds and stuff that my body needs to keep functioning. This body won't stop. Lily had just come out, and she has been spending time with me, but she won't pull me out of the body either. No one has ever, while in body, no one's ever killed anything on the other side. And there's been very little of that anyway with spirit on the other side. And then now, having this life and having destroyed so much of what was on the other side, that when Lily came out and she looked at everything, she realized how much I'd already gotten rid of. And she looked at my energy, and I'm something that she's never seen or anyone else has ever seen because of all the fighting I've gone through. I'm a lot stronger, but my energy's mutated, so she didn't know what to do. So what they're doing on the other side, all of them, they're trying to keep things somewhat copacetic while waiting for this body to die mostly on its own. That's why it's taking so long anyway. I don't want to waste too much time talking about it, but a lot of you are very strong, and you have incredible lives coming with the ETs that are coming up and everything else. This is something that you've been waiting for, and it was supposed to happen 2016, not now. Everything's going to change. Everything in creation will change, but this planet Earth is so, it has so much nasty, negative, abusive beings put on it. About 50% of the people on this planet are nasty. Probably, I guess 48%. Closer to 48. Anyway, we're going to get into the subject matter here. I just wanted to offer that to the other people that are waiting for me to leave, very anxious for me to leave, but none as anxious as I am, Deanna and I. Anyway, let's get into the information in this video. Now, I put out a video about the Enaughk in 2017. Here's a picture of the video and the information so you can access it yourself, and I'll put it at the back end of this video at the end of it. That way, if you want, you can just click onto it. It's an hour and 20 minutes. I've always been a live wire for what's happening on the other side, and in that video, I have stuff coming to talk. I say stuff, it's people. But as our normal selves, spirit, sentient energy floating around the other side that keep coming in, talking and everything else while I'm doing videos. Sometimes it's been a pain in the butt, and if necessary, I can lock them out. But they need to have a voice too. It's like when people pass, I talk with them. I've enjoyed doing that for people that when their loved ones pass. Just tell them what's going on. I've never charged a penny for that. People need to understand. You can't have equality until you understand that no one's any better than you, and you're not any better than anyone else, and you're aware of everything happening everywhere, which includes the other side. But we're taught, what we've all been taught all through all these lives, is the reality of that we exist in these physical bodies. Then you die, and nobody knows what happens. It's all a bunch of garbage. That's why I wrote the creation series. Anyway, I've been wanting people to wake up. Deanna and I have been doing everything we can. I created the spiritualfoundation.com, and Deanna has a store there where I say we sell our products. I created created the website and then gave it to Deanna because I knew she'd be here when I left, and it was really made for her anyway. Well, for her to work with everyone else. The different things we have there actually help you awaken your abilities. It's energy. It's just like I talk to stuff on the other side, whatever, all the time. It's constant. I'm not the only thing that can do this. Y'all can learn how to use your own abilities and start doing a lot of what I do yourself. I am a bit like the FBI. They still call me the freak. I am different. That's because I was made different in the very beginning. I was made to serve and protect, and finally we're going to do that. Now, that being said, all of you are incredible beings. You can do incredible things. And the energy that's in these stones and stuff that we sell, I say we, it is we, but it's, like I said, Deanna's show. At the Spiritual Foundation, they will wake you up. These crank ups I used to do, and once I'm gone, Deanna will be doing a few, but there's going to be people all over the world doing it. They're ready. That's part of what I had to do while here in body one last time. I'll never leave. I'll never go. Nothing's big enough to even stand up to me, let alone get rid of me. So I just got to get out of this, damn flesh prison. Anyway, the whole reason of creating the spiritualfoundation.com was to have a show place for all these books, well, the few books I've read, and to help you understand what's really out there, what's going on, and then the Spiritual Foundation products to help you actually wake up and get stronger. Then also cranking up all these other people. There's a small army of people, some soul, some essence, and some source that are very strong and able, and they're going to be helping the rest of this planet come alive, wake up metaphysically, allow you to become who you really are, which is incredible. The things you can do that you're not aware of because you've always told you can't will amaze you. So anyway, and Deanna, she's very strong. She's source from Lily and I, and there's a lot of others out there. None of us are any better than anyone else, but you're going to find out soon who you are, what you're capable of, and there's a lot of people that'll be leading the way, helping you. It's good to go to talk to someone who's a strong metaphysical practitioner, but while you're doing that, it's important that you become yourself, wake up. So you don't even need to go to another practitioner, but it's always, as you wake up and become aware, it's always fun to be with other people who are of like mind and abilities. Anyway, to the subject matter, the Anunnaki, the Enoch, are the two Sumerian gods. Supposedly, there's no such thing as a god really. In reality, it's people who declare themselves so much better than other people. And we will get into the ET abduction and ET hybrid information here in just a minute. The Anunnaki are a strong reptilian race. They're one of the oldest races. The two ancient races were first the Enaughk and then the Antids, often called Antids. And then the Anunnaki came right after them, the third group. So call them ancient or not, but They're the Anunnaki are very old. Now the Enoch are similar. They look like grays with swollen heads. They average about 3 foot 8 inches to about close to 5 foot, 4 foot, some 11 or 12 inches. And the Anunnaki are extremely aggressive because they're reptilian, but the Enoch are disgusting. Now there's some nice Enoch, but you can forget about finding many nice ones. It's like the what people call the imps, IMPS, of the Fae. They're usually 27% lower frequencies on average, and they can be a pain in the butt. Anyway, sometimes when you have something stabbing you in the ankle or in the foot, the bottom part of the leg, believe it or not, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's an imp, because that's one thing they like to do. It's like a little energy spike that they literally stick you with. Doesn't hurt like a big sting, but you'll feel it, something going on. Way back when the Sumerian culture was around, I believe it was about 4,000 BC, somewhere around there. I don't know, but somewhere around there, 4,000 years BC. When they got started, the Anunnaki came from the skies, and then they pretty much burrowed into the ground, like they are right now. There's many civilizations down there that all the major countries have their underground cities too. They're small cities. It's not like something the size of Atlanta, that's Georgia, that's underground. But you call them a city. It's a mass of people together living. The different human countries here, the governments that have built these areas, it's more like a large compound. There's very few really large cities that they've built, especially comparing to the ETs. So in the Enoch, their physical bodies are usually both male and female, stronger in the male gender, whatever, but they consider themselves gods and very special because they're like that. They're extremely arrogant. Now the Anunnaki, the ruling families and everything, they were disgusting. They're gone now, but the Anunnaki people themselves are just people. They're just reptilian. They're different than us, but good. It's good to have variety in creation. But back in these days, the Anunnaki have been here for over 10.5 million years. They were controlling the planet for about 10.25 million years until 2016, when finally the Enaughk and the Neantids and some of the good Anunnaki themselves came over here and took care of it. I put out videos in 2016 about that. I've put out, I don't know, a lot more than 1,200 videos, a lot more, but the first channel I just wiped out, shut down, fighting with Google and some other morons. But anyway, all that stuff's there if you can search it. I'm not too good with computers. So the Anunnaki would take people from time to time, abduct people. They had their own places where they actually showed themselves from time to time. Their own small, like a small group of buildings, large buildings, but a small group of them looked like a temple on the outside, and they'd be on the inside and giving commands, etc., etc. Now the Enoch had the same thing. Here's a picture of an Enoch. I've written it, Enaugk and Enaughk, both. It's how it's easy for me to say it's, a little different writing something like that, like the Anunnaki. In human form, they talk like a human, and not many of the Anunnaki can actually transform anymore. But anyway, they talk with growls and their own language, but they're so telepathic. That's how most everything talks. Now, the Enaughk, they were abducting people and very vicious about it. There's a video out. I showed it to you in 2017. It's called The Fourth Kind. And here's a picture of it right here. It's available also for your viewing at Amazon.com. And this video is a combination of documentary and video. In different sections, they actually show you the actual videos from when things were happening, people actually being lifted off the ground. They do it from a ship. There's actually part of the video where they actually show you the clip from a police vehicle where the person is, where the ship comes over the house. You can see it come right in over the house, and then anytime the ships come by, ET ships and everything, the magnetic force, the anti-gravitational force or gravitational force, whatever you want to call it, it separates itself from normal gravity. It's electromagnetic, and it's so strong that it messes with cameras and stuff. There was a video out that's in some of my past videos about a Russian fighter that was taking pictures, had camera on when it was out flying really high in the sky, and two Serpo is a planet that's in the Zeta Reticuli system. They went by, and when they did, they distorted the camera's image, even though they flew by real fast. A lot of people say it's not real. Some are, there's people that go on the videos and they, cut them down and everything. They do that for the government. Some of them do it for themselves, And remember, everything's run by the other side, or it has been. It's still just chaos over there right now. Has been since 2013. Anyway, one thing I noticed in the video was this picture here. If you take a look at it, this lady is writing some notes, and then here's a zoom of it. As a matter of fact, to get to that, if you look at this video right here, in the bottom left, you can see the time of that video on Amazon. If you watch it from there, or rent it, whatever, that's the time when this the image pops up, so you can see it for yourself. And if you look at it, here's a video that shows you a couple parts of it. I mean, a picture that shows a couple parts on the upper right, and then lower left and lower right. She was taking notes. Now this is actually real from the handbook, what she was writing from her personal notebook. This, like I said, this is a sort of documentary that's filled in with actors to make a movie. And the upper right is like Enoch, and she crosses it out. No, it's not Enoch, and then there's Eno, and then Ena below that. She was being told from the other side that it's Enoch. I've been talking there. I've mentioned them in some of my creation books, in the creation book series. I think at least 2 or 3, number 2 and 3. Anyway, and then also, if you look at this picture, you'll see in the bottom where it has ZKI and then a question mark. What that what she was trying to get the message there is Ezeki, like Ezeki. Ezeki is what the Enoch call Zhe, which is a being that is both male and female. As speaking of spirit, about the only spirits that have ever been male and female, that don't separate into male and female, they just stay as they are, were what people call the angels. They were the servants of the original first being. If you got hurt and abused by one of them, then they come off as demons. If you're being helped, they come off as angels. It's metaphysical. It's metaphysical beings. It's spirit, sentient energy. They can put any image they want in your head. Now these Enaughk are very good at very strong telepathically, and they're very good about planning. One of their abilities is to plant mental images into your mind and force it in there so hard it's like making it a memory. There's a lot of strong telepaths. We're a young race here on this planet. The people that come from the Adamic race that was brought here 10.57 million years ago. It's in book 1, 2, 3. I know it's in book 1. In book 2, and then in book 3 I talked more about, I think, where I was talking a little deeper about the Adamic race and how we came here, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so if you watch that movie, you're going to see literal abductions. And then what they went through afterwards, where the people, there was a ship nearby, they literally can take a physical body and lift it up. They have energy where they can actually break your body in half. But the beam they used to pick the person up, it was so strong, they made it too strong, and it literally was displacing vertebrae. The Enaughk don't care. They're vicious. Now the Serpoian, what people call the Greys, they're awesome. Most all of them are awesome, although they don't have quite as much heart energy as a lot of races. But these Enaughk are nasty. They're like Serpoians with these big fat heads. And most all of them you're going to find are nasty, and they consider themselves gods. Sometimes back in the days of the Sumerians, the Enaughk and the Anunnaki would have little flash spats, I guess you could call it. History would probably write it as great battles or something like that. They just kind of, attack each other and let it go. Nobody wanted to have a big war or nothing, and there were many more Anunnaki than there were Enaughk. But the Enaughk are intelligent and very strong telepathically. So are the Anunnaki, but not as strong as the Enaughk. Now that being said, these things are delicate. I've cranked up a lot of Serpoian folk, and when I do, I have to be very careful, because although their telepathic abilities are very strong, the physical makeup, it's a little more delicate than the human brain. The human brain's a little more ancient. Yeah, I mean, it's a little not as well developed, so it's a little bit stronger in some ways, but the abilities, we're not as strong as them in our telepathic, metaphysical abilities to move those abilities through the brain. So we're weaker in that respect, but the actual makeup of the brain, we're stronger. The Enaughk have been here on this planet for about 10.5 million years. They go up to they call themselves gods, but to the younger races, the ones less developed, they always say we're gods and everything. They're really stuck in themselves. The Anunnaki, the word Anunnaki is relative to the sky, but also the land. And that's because they came here from the sky in their ships, because you'd see them in ships every once in a while, but they were living here in the ground. Um, Now the Enoch, excuse me, they were calling themselves Agigis, and they had a physical presence here too. Sometimes they would show themselves, but usually, it's like you can go to a temple and they were there, but usually they would just come at night, sometimes during the day, and they just abduct you. They just drag people, and they're abusive with them. You meant nothing to them. So they're disgusting, abusive beings. They're not allowed around here anymore. And about, I believe it was 2016. I'd have to go look in the books. I can't see right now. I'm really doing good just to talk the way I am at the moment. But there's a group that wasn't originally, but now they're tied in with this new Alliance of Life, the group that took over and disbanded, quote unquote, like a Federation of Planets. I don't know what exact name. It was like Federation of Planets in Earth in English. Anyway, in 2016, when the Annunaki and when the Enaughk, the Antids, or often called Antids, and the good Anunnaki, which most all of them are, they're the ones that came from the home planet, and the resistance force that's been here fighting the Anunnaki families. They're still here, and they're keeping, like the Enoch and other people, away. The old Federation from space, of space, whatever, a bunch of different planets. Well, they would give like timeshares to come for people to come over here and just abuse folks. One group that did that had carte blanche is the group that was his Skinwalker Ranch, and what's there now. I put out a video about it when it happened, but what has happened is that the people that were there were removed, and the folks that are there now it's just a group kind of hanging there, and there's some scientists down there taking a look at what the others were doing. So anyway, excuse me, my head. They're being kept out. People aren't being abducted like they used to be. Well, that's because of what's been going on. I've told you about it. The more you wake up and awaken your abilities, and the more you awaken them, when they start to awaken, you realize you have them. And then they get stronger the more you use them, for two reasons. Number one, like anything else, the more you do it, the better you become at it. But also, as you start to realize you have metaphysical abilities, and some of them you use all the time, daily, then you start having more faith in the fact that it's real, because it is real. And then from there, it helps to accelerate your awakening. Things are about to take off soon. I just need to get out of here. The ETs and ET hybrids, they're waiting for me to get out of here and start what I'm going to do when I'm free, start purging creation, but it's starting right here on this planet. It's nasty, and there's going to be some destruction. They don't want to show themselves until after that happens. Plus, I'll be taking care of things on the other side, so they don't have to worry about something over there screwing with them. The other side runs your lives. They say things happen for a reason. Well, actually, that's very true. most things, especially almost all important things that happen in your life, are made to happen. But the problem with the statement of the statement about things being made to happen is they're mostly abusive. You have to have a couple nice moments to keep, everyone does, to keep from committing suicide and getting out of their bodies. Uh, but anyway, that's just coming to an end. That's enough of that crap. You'll see things change uh, on a full scale. You'll think it's a planetary scale, but it's going to happen throughout creation. It just is starting here. So once I'm gone, the ETs will start introducing themselves to everyone. They'll show themselves and talk to some of the governments, but they're not going to have crap to do with any of them at first. When they're here for us, for everyone, not for the governments to have more control of you. I mean, look at the media, look at the FBI, Homeland Security, all these intelligence areas, the military complex for all the countries around the world. They're all running your lives now. Google, Facebook, all that crap. You're being fed information like cows being fed, moved to slaughter, to be slaughtered, to be controlled. And of course, I am taking all the animals. As soon as I'm out of here, I'll start taking them on a large scale. Anyway, that's going to stop. You'll see it. It'll just happen. No big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but I mean, it's just going to happen. And there will be some physical destruction and chaos on this planet. I've talked about that in other videos. I'm not going to spend time doing it here. There's a foundation, the Arae Foundation, that's waiting to be. It's established and set aside, but it's waiting to be fully established. I can't talk that much about it right now. And also, there's this new nation being built. It's a national community of different groups, and it's the oceans. That's their territory. There is land mass. You'll be seeing them in the Bahamas. Anyway, people are going to start meeting the ETs, and you'll see it. That's another part of the spiritual foundation. It's going to stay what it is, but the Arae Foundation is Essex Ramirez Anaya Foundation is a whole new thing that's going to do things on a very large scale. And when countries are being properly led, not controlling and abusive, when they're properly dealing with things, they'll be given an opportunity to join this new nation, this new community of nations. Until they do, then they're out of it. Before that ever happens, I'll tell you right now, there's a whole lot of different businesses that'll be changing, regrouping, restructuring, and this is going to become something of compassion. And people that are greedy and controlling and everything, they're out of here. I'm going to kill most of them anyway. Gone. In the next 5 years, let me just say this, in the next 5 years, about 52% of the people on this planet will be gone. Everything's going to change. But these are wonderful family members, these ETs and ET hybrids. And the ET hybrids are like us, but they've been had the DNA from their own different groups molded in to their bodies so that they can live here on this planet. The Andromedians, Palladians, the Anunnaki, their new home world. They had an original one. It's destroyed. The new one is in the Pleiades galaxy. People, we're a big family, and everything's about to open up. You will see this. You will meet them, and you will be seeing them hanging around Florida and the Bahamas, and they'll be with Deanna and the other members of the ERA Foundation. Deanna and I also have had a whole lot of very special kids that were created. Anyway, Serene is a wonderful, wonderful lady, Sepoy, and she's one of this universe's best doctors, but she understands genetics and stuff too. So anyway, I've talked about that stuff in other videos. While I can still function, I need to go ahead and finish getting off this video. So starting to kind of fade out here. Anyway, those of you that are waiting, I regret I'm not home yet. I've done everything I can, as you know, to get out of here, and they're afraid to remove me, but I've done so much to harm myself, plus my physical body was never meant to be here this long. It shouldn't have lasted, it should have been dead before the beginning of 2016. Anyway, I'm very close. I wobble everywhere. I say everywhere, and I don't go anywhere. The most I ever move is about 20 foot, I guess, something like that. It's happening. I can't do anything to hurry it anymore, so I just have to wait. But people, you're gonna find out who you are, what abilities you have, all the lies you've been told all through not just this life, but all your other lives. And the fact that you're sentient energy, your spirit. You live forever. Unless something destroys you, you live forever. And there's only one thing out there that can do that. And it doesn't like to do that. So, anyway, you all need to understand and learn to appreciate who you really are. And that's why I created the Spiritual Foundation, and Deanna really does a good job with it. Deanna's also a certified architect, but she's an artist. The packaging that we have on the materials that she sells is so unique. I'm really glad she turned it into what she has. I'm just a thing of energy. I've done what I came here to do, and write the books, kill stuff on the other side, and crank up a lot of people, make them stronger. And now I'm just waiting to get out of here, to be myself again. You'll see everything change. Everything will be fine, folks. So always say, love you, take care, and hang in there.